Get the legs! With the STF! Oh shit! Ooh, I got you, Johnny. Yeah, the ponytail. Oh no. Oh my god! Oh!
Okay. I played MK1 story, the whole campaign, I did it all. After playing it, thinking of it for a while, and then sleeping on it after I played it, I've thought about it and come to these things, and this isn't anything special, this isn't a review, this isn't anything like that. These are just my honest thoughts on the game. I've got some bullet points that I'll read, and I've got kind of a half script that I'm gonna wing it on, and also just read aloud. And yeah, don't expect too much out of this, this is just me talking. So, Mortal Kombat 1 is a story that includes a lot of potential, and there were some things hinted at that I kind of wasn't necessarily excited for, but piqued my interest in a way that previous games kind of didn't. Well, the story in this game, it starts off pretty solid. We get a nice introduction to Raiden and Kung Lao and their ambitions. Everything is pretty good besides Shang Tsung, but I guess things change. The changes to the new timeline aren't entirely bad, like Kitana being the few seconds younger sister of Mileena, and then Scorpion and Sub-Zero actually being brothers in this timeline. They're not entirely bad changes, but they aren't properly explored. Liu Kang also now has a new role as the Protector of Earthrealm, which was formerly Raiden's, and he handles it pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's a little bit smug and kind of cheating considering he has a lot more awareness than Raiden ever did, even when he had the future pronoun game sent to him in MK9.
That was 100% her. Yeah, that was 100% her.
In its own way, restored it.
I am glad that Sento bonded with you. Though my hope was that the means would be different this time.
Yeah.
This time.
Forgive me,
yeah.
Kenshi.
Never mind, I didn't say that.
But either way, it's still handled mostly fine for what we're given. Things are going pretty smoothly with the tournament, I guess, and even less is on the line, and it's a lot less hostility compared to how it was originally. It felt like there was a lot more at stake with the original Timelines tournaments, but this timeline, it's just some friendly competition, and if we lose on Earthrealm, it just makes us look weak at worst. That's it. It's not apparently a giant guarantee that the other realms will invade or will try to take over or conquer, and even if they do, apparently they're being ruled by Sindel, and she's not really evil or that bad here, so we should be fine if we lose. It doesn't really feel like there's a lot at stake with this tournament. Okay, here's what happens. We get some first timeline people back who were exclusive to 3D games like Deadly Alliance and Deception, but then those characters aren't entirely fixed. The only one who kinda sorta gets justice is Li Mei, but that's it. Ashura exists literally and is just exposition and pointless because we'll never see her again after like 2 to 3 chapters. We get so many other characters who just don't really do anything or aren't any significant role other than whatever their endings may be, right? We'll have Ashura literally just explain her background and how she's a demon from the Nether Realm and is just trying to redeem herself because she doesn't want to be evil anymore. And it's like, that's it. End. Nothing else. Let's run down through the characters who were handled throughout the story, right? So Baraka, he's handled super duper well, and he's way more of a sympathetic victim and protagonist who was apparently once a merchant and he was doing just fine in life, but then everything got ruined after he got infected by the Tarkat disease.
My family was comfortable, happy. Then Tarkat came. He took my wife, then my children. Cruelly, it lets me live for now.
And now he's just looking out for people who are also, you know, victims of the same thing. Ultimately, I feel like good guy Baraka is a lot better than bad guy Baraka because he's not just looking out for his people. He's got something at stake and he's got reason for what he's doing. He's got way more on the line.
He won't.
I won't murder you.
It's mercy, not murder. Not that what I've done deserves yours.
You were protecting your family. I would have done the same.
He definitely feels a certain way, and it's a lot easier to put yourself in his position than you ever were able to before, at least if you ask me. Johnny Cage he's alright. He only really contributes so much at the end of the day, but his highlight is definitely his friendship with Kenshi, who is also handled pretty well for what we're given. Long story short, in this timeline, Johnny Cage has purchased the sword Sento, and if you're familiar with Kenshi and his lore, you already know that this is his family sword that he uses. But this time around, Johnny has it and is a lore enthusiast for the sword and its history because I don't know, I guess he was bored and looked into it on Wikipedia or something one day. Kenshi tries to take the sword by force and Johnny doesn't give it up. It's only when the story progresses and Johnny and Kenshi spend more time together and get to know each other a little better that Johnny gives Kenshi the sword, which ultimately helps him get through his blindness that he gains later in the story.
Give him. Oh, that's nice.
What? I can't. Not when you received my life. It's yours.
Let me tell you about my best friend.
These two are done pretty well, no complaints. Reptile is also alright. Granted, like Ashura, he's just exposition, but I feel like his background is way better. He's introduced working for Shang Tsung and his evil schemes, but reveals that he's only really doing it because he doesn't really have a choice. Shang Tsung has his family hostage, and if he doesn't do as he's told, well, they're going bye-bye. After some revelations, God damn it. After some revelations, Reptile quickly gets the ammo to switch sides as he was never really bad in the first place. Honestly, I prefer good guy Reptile over here over bad guy Reptile we had before. I could be wrong, but Reptile in both the first and second timeline didn't get that much done and there was only so much to him, other than his relationship with his people of the Cetarians. Which I'm pretty sure in the first timeline, the reason he looked more reptilian after MK3 or whatever was due to him being away from his people for so long, and here it's the other way around. Li Mei is... Like I said, I feel like she's got something better here than the first timeline, as she carries a little bit of weight on her shoulders. The game states that the death of King Gerard, Kitana's dad, is Li Mei's fault, and then goes on to redeem herself here and prove that she's sorry for what happened, and she's genuinely trying her best for Edenia. She gets forgiven after helping out Liu Kang within the story, and everything's alright. The first timeline, she just gets a really bad hand in her endings in Deadly Alliance, and then sleeps with Onaga by chance, and that's it. The new Lin Kuei, comprising of Bi-Han as Sub-Zero, Kuai Liang as Scorpion this time, and then Spider-Man as Smoke, probably got done a harsh hand in the writing development side of things. So check this out, right? Sub-Zero as Bi-Han was never really evil. He did some bad things and some good things, but the safest statement about Bi-Han before he became Noob Saibot is that he walks a gray line, but is dedicated to his clan. His good actions can be seen with his interactions with Serena in his game. All of that is thrown out of the window here. Bi-Han is just now an asshole for literally no reason other than the fact that he really wants to smoke with as many people as he can get it with.
Hands off!
Oh my god! Oh no! No! Oh!
Was that necessary, brother? Father may have taken you in, made you one of us, but your blood will never be Lin Kuei.
Jeez, Bi-Han, what's with you, my man?
Grave if he saw this! He was a doddering old fool. He did us a favor having that accident, and I was right to let him die.
You let him go? Oh no.
You said you tried to save him! A lie. Because you couldn't, and still can't face the truth.
I don't mind him having the attitude and always ready for a fight, but the first part, no. When we had the trailers and bios to go off of and stuff, I just thought Sub-Zero's ambitions were just a little too much but didn't hinder his character to such a negative fashion. But then the game comes out and all he needed to hear was some things from Shang Tsung, and it was more than enough for him to completely turn heel against his brother and everybody he ever worked with. Scorpion isn't even anything special in this, as Scorpion is Kuai Liang. One would think that this time the brotherhood between the two would be better handled, and if the two were to go against each other, there would be way better of a build-up. But no, turns out Bi-Han's just a douchebag because nobody at NRS has the balls to actually write a complex character. Ugh. This doesn't even get a real conclusion at the end of the day. The two talk about how crazy it is and just say, we'll deal with it later. And then we never see them deal with the whole thing later. We don't even see Bi-Han again after that. Smoke contributes nothing to the plot overall and is just here to get beat up and beat the shit out of an old lady.
Square
Oh, Jesus Christ. Bro, calm down.
Sindel contributes nothing to the plot overall and is just there to be in charge of Edenia for a little while, then die in Ermac's arms and stuff. Ermac contributes nothing to the plot overall and is just there to reunite with Sindel and the others, because he's also Jirard, so we get some more Ermac x Sindel fanfiction. Nitara contributes nothing to the plot overall and is just there to showcase that NRS just likes having people with voices that don't sound good, and every time Nitara speaks I get uncomfortable.
Earth Realmers will soon know of Eternus. My realm starves, and it's
Oh my
coming
god,
to feed.
every time you talk, I get upset.
That blade's enchanted. We can't help what we are. Serena's right. Because of Quan Chi's magic, my realm's people are no longer poisoned by sunlight. We've
Oh my
finally
god,
escaped the
people,
shadows.
okay, yeah, nah. Oh man, people were acting like Ronda Rousey as Sonya was like insane. But like, this is like 1,000,000 times worse.
Havik contributes nothing to the plot overall and is just there to get beat up and then his face melted when Scorpion's raging out, and oh my god! Kitana contributes nothing to the plot overall and is just there to get beat up a little, be nice to Mileena, and get back with Liu Kang. But it's not this game's Kitana that does that. It's actually MK9 Kitana. Oh wait, no, she died and became a Revenant and then stayed a Revenant until MK11 decided to bring back everybody with time travel and then wash literally everything else away, so it's alternate MK9 Kitana thanks to MK11 retcons. MK11 Kitana. God, I wanted this version of Mileena to be so much better, so bad it hurts. But this version is just okay-ish, I guess. It's still better than MK9X and 11 Mileena if you ask me. So get this, right? Mileena has some issues and questionable judgment and is the older sister to Kitana in this timeline. Only to be revealed that she got COVID. I'm sorry. Tarkat infection, and it's turning her into sharp teeth pink Kitana. How does this game express Mileena's bad actions before its infection and why people think Kitana fits the shoe to stand up as the heir to Sindel's throne better?
I never thought that... That's your problem, Mileena. You never think.
Damn!
A mother is only trying to protect you, sister.
That's it. That one line of dialogue, that's really it. So Mileena gets the infection and she has to keep taking a dosage in order to null it out and slow down the process and keep her mental state a bit more at bay. When Sindel dies, she vows to hold everything together, fill the shoes anyway as the ruler of Edenia, despite her being worse off now more than ever to take that role, but will do it with help from Kitana and Ermac because reasons. We never see how that plays out. Mileena never gets a permanent cure for this. There's no venture to acceptance for the infection other than she can now control it, I guess. It's again implied that her and Tanya are sleeping together, or at least a hidden couple. My thing is, why are we holding back on this? It's 2023. Being a homosexual is like the furthest thing from an insult in this day and age. So why are we not leaning way more into Mileena and Tanya making bedrocks? Anyway, overall, like the Lin Kuei, Mileena and Kitana, and a lot of people actually, are introduced with small new spins to their characters that can make for really cool and unique arcs. But ultimately, Mileena has a stronger setup this time, while Kitana has a little bit less to work with. Kitana's still way better than Mileena in the last two timelines fight me. Yet still, all that I've mentioned have been failed to get loose ends properly tied. These guys have really solid setups, but then end up getting nowhere that's a proper close off in the end. Things aren't really ever properly followed up with. This is a problem throughout all the NRS Mortal Kombat games. They write themselves towards a bad position, realize it's a compromising position, and don't know how to get out of it. So they either scrap the whole thing, or make up some weak excuse to get somewhere else because they couldn't commit to certain changes. Perfect example. In Mortal Kombat X, the source of the Revenants is apparently a magic pool in Quan Chi's laboratory. It's not made clear if it's this pool specifically that affects them all, or if it's just some sort of range thing and because the others weren't there they didn't get affected. But when the pool gets reversed with magic, it brings back some of the Revenants to their normal states. The other Revenants who are still under control aren't freed yet, and Quan Chi throughout the story gets killed, signaling that there's no way for them to come back, as Quan Chi was the only one who could bring them back to their normal states after the pool issue. Long story short, MKX showed that the Revenants were here and were here to stay. Fast forward to the next game of MK11, everyone gets brought back with time travel because reasons. Look, I don't know what's going on in the writing department. There were multiple writers per game for MK9 to 11, but the same name that's usually seen is Dominic Cianciolo. Dominic Cianciolo. Dominic's name is usually associated with the writing of the games, but who really knows at the end of the day what's going on to lead to the inconsistencies and lack of payoff and issues within the narratives? No one. It could be anything. It could be that this was simply the result of having more than one writer working on the story. It could be that Dominic had ideas but then just changed his mind later and decided he wanted to do something else. It could be that there's someone higher up who oversees the main things that always need to happen in the story. It could be that the writers have ideas and plans, but then get them halted due to the game's roster having an impact on said plans. I don't know what's going on in writing, but I do know that these issues are present, and there could be a reason for them, and it could be anything, but I just wanted to point that out. I didn't know where to put this part, but bro, I'm done. Mileena goes on a frenzy and stabs out Kenshi's eyes, blinding him, and my man never even got an apology for that. No one brings it up when Kenshi and Mileena have to work together. Oh my god.